Midlife does not knock politely. It arrives like a stranger turning on the lights in a room you thought you knew, revealing the dust in the corners, the cracks in the walls, and the unopened doors you kept meaning to explore. One day, I look in the mirror and do not just see my face. I see time. I see every decision that shaped me, every dream I delayed, every person I loved, every excuse I used, and every tomorrow I assumed would automatically arrive. I believe midlife is not the beginning of the end, it is the end of pretending. It is the moment life asks me a question I can no longer avoid. Now that I know time is precious, what am I going to do with the rest of it? For years I lived as though life had an endless supply of second chances. I told myself I would travel later, heal later, start later, forgive later, get healthy later, write the book later, make the call later, become the man I knew I could be later. But later is a seductive liar. It smiles, it comforts, it delays. And before I know it, years have slipped through my hands like water I never bothered to hold. Midlife teaches me that time is not merely passing, it is charging interest. Every habit compounds, every relationship either deepens or decays. Every unresolved wound either heals or hardens. Every day I postpone my calling, I make it easier to live without it. I believe the greatest danger of midlife is not getting older. The greatest danger is becoming so comfortable with an unfulfilled life that I stop believing I can change it. That is why this season matters. Midlife is not a crisis unless I refuse to listen to it. It can become a reckoning, yes, but it can also become a rebirth. It can be the moment I stop trying to impress people who do not know my heart and start building a life that actually feels like mine. I believe the second half of life can be more honest, more powerful, and more alive than the first, but only if I am willing to stop sleepwalking. Dios, the first thing I need to do now is tell myself the truth. Not the polished version. Not the story I tell at gatherings when someone asks how life is going. I need the truth that sits quietly beneath the surface. What am I tired of? What am I avoiding? What is draining me? Where have I become smaller just to keep other people comfortable? What dream still visits me when the house is quiet and nobody is watching? I believe truth is not cruel. Truth is a compass. It may sting at first because it exposes the distance between where I am and where I want to be. But pretending has never closed that distance. Avoidance has never built a better future. The only way forward is to look at my life without flinching and say, this is what is working. This is what is broken. This is what must change. There is freedom in that kind of honesty. I do not need to punish myself for the years I spent surviving, pleasing, grinding, or getting lost. I do not need to turn regret into a permanent address. I can honor the past without living inside it. I believe regret has one useful purpose. It can teach me what I value before I run out of chances to live by it. Maybe I gave too much of myself to work and too little to the people who loved me. Maybe I stayed in relationships that were familiar but empty. Maybe I spent years trying to earn approval from people who could never give it. Maybe I neglected my body, postponed my healing, or buried my creativity beneath responsibility. Whatever the truth is, I cannot change yesterday, but I can stop donating today to the same old mistake. That is the power of now. Now is not glamorous. It is not a perfect moment with perfect conditions. It is not the day after every fear disappears. Now is the ordinary Tuesday when I finally decide to walk. Now is the phone call I have been avoiding. Now is the application I submit, the budget I create, the boundary I set, the apology I offer, the doctor's appointment I schedule, the prayer I finally pray honestly. I believe transformation rarely begins with a dramatic escape. It begins with a decision so small that nobody else notices, except the person making it. At midlife, I must become ruthless about my energy. I do not mean cold. I do not mean selfish. I mean intentional. I cannot keep giving my best years, my best emotions, and my best focus to people, habits, and obligations that leave me depleted and disconnected from myself. Time has become too valuable for that. I have learned that not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every relationship deserves unlimited access. Not every argument deserves my peace. Not every opportunity deserves my attention. I believe maturity is learning that every yes is an expense. When I say yes to something meaningless, I may be saying no to my health, my family, my purpose, my rest, or the dream that still has my name on it. I want to become a better guardian of my life. That means protecting my mornings from chaos, protecting my body from neglect, protecting my mind from constant noise, protecting my heart from people who only know how to take, protecting my future from the version of me that wants comfort more than growth. Midlife is where I learned that boundaries are not walls built out of bitterness. They are gates built out of wisdom. I also need to take care of the body that has carried me this far. My body is not a machine I can endlessly push, punish, ignore, and then expect to perform without consequence. It has been speaking to me for years, through exhaustion, pain, sleeplessness, weight gain, tension, anxiety, low energy, and the quiet signals I kept calling normal. I believe health is not vanity. It is responsibility. I do not want to spend the rest of my years with a mind full of dreams and a body too depleted to pursue them. I want strength, not just to look better, but to live better. I want energy to travel, to play, to create, to serve, to love, to stay present. I want to move through life with the kind of vitality that reminds me I am still here. So I start now. I drink the water. I take the walk. I lift the weight. I sleep with more discipline. I eat with more awareness. I get the checkup. I stop treating stress like proof that I am important. I believe every healthy decision is a vote for the life I still want to live. Then there is money, the subject that has quietly shaped more decisions than most of us want to admit. At midlife, I cannot afford to remain vague about it. I need to know what comes in, what goes out, what I owe, what I own, and what future I am funding with my habits. I believe financial peace is not about becoming rich overnight. It is about becoming honest, prepared, and less controlled by fear. I do not need to chase every shiny promise. I do not need to compare my chapter to someone else's highlight reel, but I do need a plan. I need to reduce what enslaves me, build what supports me, and make choices that give my future self more room to breathe. I believe money is most powerful when it buys freedom. Freedom to choose, to give, to rest, to leave what no longer serves me, and to spend more time with the people who matter. Midlife also asks me to reconsider who I call friends. I do not need a crowded room. I need a real one. I need people who tell me the truth without trying to tear me down. People who celebrate my growth without becoming threatened by it. People who can laugh with me, pray with me, challenge me, and sit with me when life is not impressive. I believe friendship at this stage is less about history and more about alignment. Some people knew an older version of me so well that they resist the person I am becoming. They may be attached to my old patterns because those patterns made them comfortable, but I cannot let nostalgia become a prison. I can love people and still outgrow the role I played in their story. And if I have neglected meaningful relationships, I need to repair them while I can. I need to call my parents if I still have them. I need to show up for my children, not merely provide for them. I need to apologize where I have caused pains. I need to say I love you before grief makes the sentence impossible to deliver. I believe presence is the most expensive gift because it costs something money cannot replace: my time. What is the point of building a life everyone admires if the people closest to me feel unseen inside it? At midlife, purpose becomes louder. The old motivations begin to lose their shine. I can only chase status for so long before I start asking, for what? I can only collect things for so long before I realize they cannot sit beside me in a hospital room, forgive me, or make my soul feel alive. I believe purpose is what remains when applause disappears. It may be a business, it may be mentoring, it may be writing, teaching, serving, building, creating, parenting, ministry, art, or simply becoming the stable presence my family needs. Purpose does not have to be famous to be profound. It just has to be true. It has to connect my gifts with something larger than my ego. I do not need to become someone else at midlife. I need to become more fully myself. That may require courage. It may require me to disappoint people who benefited from my indecision. It may require a career change, an uncomfortable conversation, a new skill, a new city, a new routine, a new faith, or a new willingness to be a beginner again. But I believe being a beginner at midlife is far better than being an expert at a life I no longer want. Yeah, I have to stop making age an excuse for surrender. Yes, I have less time than I did at 25, but I also have more wisdom, more resilience, more scars that taught me something, and more clarity about what does not matter. I am not starting from nothing. I am starting from experience. I believe midlife is not a disadvantage. It is an advantage once I stop viewing it through the lens of fear. There is a fire that can only be lit after disappointment has burned away illusion. I no longer need to prove I am invincible. I need to become available to life, to love, to God, to the truth, to possibility. I want to be more present at the dinner table than I am on my phone. I want to care less about winning arguments and more about protecting peace. I want to exchange performance for authenticity, accumulation for meaning, busyness for depth. I believe the most successful midlife is not the one that looks youthful from the outside. It is the one that feels awake from the inside. So what do I do now? I stop waiting for permission to become healthy, honest, financially wise, emotionally free, spiritually grounded, and fully alive. I choose one promise and keep it, then another. I clear the clutter. I tell the truth. I forgive where I can. I release what has expired. I invest in what matters. I learn something new. I take the trip. I write the page. I make the call. I begin before I feel ready. I believe the years ahead are not asking me to become younger. They are asking me to become real. And if I answer that call with courage, midlife will not be the chapter where my life starts shrinking. It will be the chapter where I finally start living like every day has my name written on it.